So again, good morning from Koufonisia. Just arrived on the Express Scopolitas and now going to walk around there and up the hill that way to my accommodation, Cyclades, Koufonisia. It is another beautiful day. Not very windy today. Had a really good crossing there. Took about an hour and 10 minutes. So time to drop my bags off and get checked into the hotel and get out and explore the island. And here we have the main town beach. Beautiful beach, one of the nicest town beaches you'll find anywhere in Greece. So it's been a few years since I was last here. I think I came last to Koufonisia back in 2018, so 7 years. And I can already tell there's been some changes. All of these buildings look relatively new. And some of these up here. I think my accommodation is up this way. Some more newish looking accommodation here. Straight ahead looks like the local bakery. And another taverna. So I think my friend Ed's accommodation is just up there. He's not staying at the same place as me because he couldn't get a room there. And hopefully mine is up this way. It definitely feels a lot busier here than on Danusa. Already seen quite a few people walking around. But on the plus side, also seen lots of cafés and shops open for business. So don't think we'll struggle as much here for places to eat and drink. And here we are at my accommodation, Cyclades, Koufonisia. So let's go and get checked in. Good morning, Kalimera, from a nice and sunny Koufonisia. It's Thursday, May 22nd, and this is my second day on the island. This is the courtyard area of the accommodation I'm staying in, Cyclades, Koufonisia. That's my room up there on the balcony bit on the left. And I'm just heading out to meet my friend Ed, who is with me. It's his last day today. And we're going to walk down and get some breakfast. I had a pretty quiet day yesterday. Just went down around the southeast coast to some of the beaches that are along that side of the island. Which I didn't film any of. I will be filming them tomorrow, so don't worry, you will get to see them. And today we're going to head around probably the northwest side of the island. I'm now heading down the beach and port area is this way, so I'm now heading south. And Ed's hotel is actually that one just up there. There's only one settlement on the island, so this is it. And this is the corner. So you head down this way and then right down to the beach. And then up this way, there are lots of little shops and bars and tavernas, which is where I'll be going in just a second. But I will just show you around the corner here. We've got a fairly big shop. And then down towards the beach this way. Ed and I ate in this restaurant, Fanos Beach, last night. Had some very nice pizzas. And there's lots more accommodation on the side of the hill there. Including, I don't know if you can see it, just over the top of that building, the sign that says Daphnis, which is where I stayed on my first trip to Koufonisia in 2018. And I can confidently say it has changed quite a lot since then. Still has a pretty nice kind of small island vibe, but it's definitely a step up from Danusa, which was incredibly quiet, whereas here there's already a few more people around and a lot more like shops and tavernas and things open for business, which is good. I'm just going to head up this way to meet my friend Ed. So I've got another little coffee breakfast bar there. And then a little further up, that is Ed's accommodation up there. But that is the update for now. And we're going to grab some breakfast and then I will update you again when we are on our little walk around some of the island today. So that is it for now. Good morning again, Kalimera. So we just had a lovely breakfast, and the plan for now is we are heading down back to the beach and to the port area, and we're going to take a clockwise path around the southwest side of the island and up to the high point, Profitis Ilias, as it's often called on every island, somewhere up that way, which on Koufonissi is a whopping 103 meters, I think, something like that. So it is a very flat island, which makes a change. So getting up to the high point should not present too much of a challenge. But that is the plan for today, and then we will take the road across the island back into Chora, where we are now. So I will update you along the way. Hello again, and another little progress update. So we just walked around from the port, you can see that there, and the main town. And I just wanted to show you, this here is Kato Koufonissi. That island there is Kedros, and this is Kato Koufonissi. So if the name of these islands confuses you a bit, this one that I'm on now is called Ano Koufonissi, which I believe means upper in Greek, and this one here is Kato, which means lower Koufonissi. And then they are collectively known as Koufonisia, but most people use that word to refer to this island because this island is the inhabited one. And you can take a little boat trip across to Kato Koufonissi if you want to. But we're now going to continue around this path here. I think there's a road for a little way, and then it becomes a hiking path. And you can see some pretty windmills there. But it is a very peaceful morning here on Koufonissi, a little beach down here. Does look quite appealing for a swim. It is getting warmer every day that I'm here, and not much wind to speak of today either. So definitely feeling hotter than it was a week ago when I arrived on Mykonos. Hello again, good morning, Kalimera. Another update on today's hike. As you may be able to hear, we are just at the lovely water treatment waste management plant and construction area. So not the nicest of backdrops here, but we're trying to find a path up this way. You might be able to see Ed just a little way up there. It doesn't appear to be a particularly well marked path, despite the fact that it is on the Koufonissi hiking map. So the next update will hopefully be to say that we've made it further up this hillside. Hello again, and we have made it. Not to the top of the hike, but we managed to find our way somehow up this hillside. Definitely can't see much of a hiking trail here. It looks like may or may not exist anymore, but we are now back on this 4x4 track, and hopefully you can see down there back to Chora. Hopefully the hardest part of this hike is now done, and we are just continuing on up this hill to Profitis Ilias, which will be the high point on Koufonissi. Hello again, and this time we have actually made it to the high point on Koufonissi. You can see there is the trig point there, which marks the summit. There we go. This is the very highest point on Koufonissi. That's back up towards Donusa and Kedros again, and then back down to Chora and Kato Koufonissi. And then in the far distance again we have Shinusa and Iraklia behind, and I think in the far distance Paros, and over here is Naxos. So Ed and I did stop at the little building over there after we'd finished climbing up, thinking that that was the highest point, and then looked over here and realised that this is about 10 metres higher, and we also thought we could see the trig marker on the top. So this is definitely the official highest point on the island. Lovely panoramic views. Not entirely sure I'd recommend coming up that way. There is a proper path down that way and then a road back into Chora, which is what we are going to be doing now, because I have no intention of going back the way we came. Managed to get my sandaled feet slightly scratched. Again, do not particularly recommend sandals. So that is the update for today. The hike to the highest point on Koufonissi. Hello, good morning, Kalimera. It is Friday, May 23rd, and another beautiful day here on sunny Koufonissi. I'm just heading out of my accommodation now, and the plan for today is to take another trip around to the beaches on the southeast coast, Finikas, Fanos and Italida, and then on to the large bay beach on the northeast called Pori Beach. Just heading down now through the main tourist area. One slightly fun, interesting thing happened this morning. I went to the bakery, Koufonissi bakery, with the intention of getting some bread to have breakfast in my room, only to be told that they don't actually sell bread. It's a kind of sweet treat sort of bakery. They sell cakes and biscuits and that kind of thing, and coffee. And the actual bakery is this building here with the blue window frames, which is a lot less obvious. You can just about see the word bakery written there if you look very carefully. But I thought that was quite amusing, that the place that is obviously labelled as a bakery is not the place you will go to buy bread. It is in fact that place there. So here we are down on the main town beach, which I didn't know until I looked it up the other day is called Amos Beach. I think the first time I visited it didn't really have a name, but I guess as islands gain in popularity, someone needs to decide what things are going to be called so that people know what you're talking about when you're describing it. It's a lovely soft sand beach with very clear water, nice and shallow, excellent for swimming. And as I mentioned yesterday, the island over there is Kato Koufonissi, and apparently it has the distinction of being the smallest island hop in Greece, because there's about 200 metres between the islands, so easily swimmable really. And then behind the beach you've got some accommodation. This is a nice beachfront taverna bar. Ed and I had a drink here yesterday afternoon before his ferry left, and I also had a nice couple of refreshing swims in the sea. But we're now going to carry on up that road there. If you do want to walk around the island, don't mistakenly go down this path here, because I think it's a dead end. And another little update, a lot of this accommodation here is all new. Most of it is quite pretty, quite like this, the Cycladic architecture. But I wanted to point out, as I spotted it yesterday as we walked around, this monstrosity here. I'm not quite sure who authorised this paint scheme, but it's got to be one of the most garish hotels I think I've ever seen in Greece. I'll find out the name of the hotel online and put it on the screen so you can write to them and complain. But it's a really horrible kind of pale blue colour that just sticks out like a sore thumb. When we were coming around the bay on the ferry from Donusa, you can see it from miles. And it is just not a pleasant colour. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure there's some law in Greece, especially in the Cyclades, that you have to paint your houses white with maybe blue doors and attachments, but I can only assume that someone told them the colour scheme was blue and white and they decided to mix them together to make a horrible chalky blue. But I don't know what you think. It is a horrific colour in my opinion, and very much an eyesore. So if that's your hotel and you happen to watch this, please repaint it. It is not nice. And again, lots more newish looking accommodation here. Another quick update. So we're now more on the eastern side of the island than the south. And this is the start of the beachy part of the southeast coast, as you can see. I don't think this is really like a named beach. It's just a little bit of shoreline really, but you can get in and swim. It is quite shallow here. And then just around up this slight hill in the road there, we will arrive at the first beach. And hello again. And behind me you can see Finikas Beach. So this is the first proper beach that you will come to as you walk around the southeast coast of Koufonisia. It is a nice white soft sand beach in a relatively calm bay. There is a sort of stony shingly part to the beach here, and then a little pier, and then the main part of Finikas Beach there. Very quiet this morning. I don't expect it to be like this if you come in June, July, August or early September. It will probably be a fair amount busier. But if you do get up early in the morning, you may still find it like this. And there is now a path that runs from this beach all the way around past the next two beaches and up to Pori Beach around the coastline, which is the one that we're going to take. So the path runs just behind those bushes there. So we have left the roadside now. The road is just over there anyway, but this beach walk is quite pleasant. So this is Finikas Beach. And just like that, we have reached the next beach, which is Fanos Beach, right there. And here we are at Fanos Beach. Another wonderful beach. Koufonissi has a well-deserved reputation for stunning beaches, and it does not disappoint. I was, however, wrong about there not being any other beachfront tavernas apart from the one back there at Finikas. This is most definitely a beachfront taverna. Hello again, and as we head around from Fanos Beach behind me towards Italida Beach around there, I just wanted to show you this nice little cove beach, and also tell you another little bit of fun trivia. Apparently the island Koufonissi gets its name from the fact that in Greek it means hollow island, and apparently it was named long ago by pirates and sailors because much of the coastline looks like this, with low cliffs and coves and caves everywhere. So the belief was that the island itself was hollow, and hence they call it Koufonissi, Hollow Island. Another little cove just before we reach Italida Beach, which you can see ahead of me here. And this is already the penultimate beach stop of the day, only Pori Beach left. I will just point out that of all the beaches on the island, this one is nudist friendly, so I am going to be a little careful filming right down on the beach. But if you do fancy getting a all over tan, then this is the beach to come to. Looks like we're fairly safe for now in the bare flesh department, so I will give you a closer look at this nice beach. In fact, if anything, at the moment it looks to be possibly the best of the three in terms of the gently shelving sand into the sea. And we're now going to continue on around this headland here. And it's only about 5 or 10 more minutes and we will be at Pori Beach. Another update, we are almost around the northeast of the island towards Pori Beach, which you might be able to see some boats moored up in the bay there. But I've stopped here to show you this. This is called the Devil's Eye, a natural sea cave, which apparently at certain times of the day glows blue like an eye when the sun shines on it. And you can swim. I'm guessing you can swim out that way. That is the Devil's Eye, just south of Pori Beach, which is where we are going to be heading now. And as promised, here we are. This is Pori Beach. Definitely one of the nicest beaches on the island, if not the nicest beach. As you can see, is incredibly calm and it's very shallow water, quite a long way out. I remember the first time I came here back in 2019, I could still stand kind of right in the middle there. So lovely shallow bay for swimming. I will just point out there are two beach tavernas here, that one and that one. This one on Google gets particularly bad reviews for being overpriced and not particularly great, so do be aware of that if you do decide to come here. Either bring your own food and shade, or I think this one is better. There you go, once again, Pori Beach. Hello, good afternoon, Kalispera. Another update for today. So after a pleasant swim stop at Pori Beach, a nice refreshing dip in the water there, I decided that I would retrace my steps back along the coastal path instead of taking the inland road. The road is not the most picturesque of routes, and it's not all that much quicker, to be honest, than taking the beach path. So it's quite hot today and I figured there would be a little bit more breeze along the coast, which there is, so made for a more pleasant return journey. And also had a quick stop for a drink and another swim at Finikas Beach. So I am now just heading back to my accommodation to drop off my bag, and then I'm going to pop out and try and find somewhere to have a bit of lunch. And then the plan for the rest of the day, I think, is to relax on the beach, either at the main town beach, Fanos Beach, or I might even come back this way because it's really not that far, and enjoy the beach at Finikas. So that is the update for now. And then later on this evening, hopefully we'll show you around a little bit more of Chora in the evening and try to catch the sunset. So I hope you've enjoyed the update for today, and I will catch you again in a little while. Good morning, Kalimera. It is Saturday, May 24th, and the sad day has arrived again. It is my last morning here on beautiful Koufonisia. A little hazy in the sky today, not looking quite as bright as it did yesterday. I think we may have had a little bit of rain overnight as well. Now, I did try and take you on a little tour last night of the main tourist areas in Chora, but it didn't come out particularly well in the low light. So here I am again this morning, and I'm gonna just walk you through the main parts of Chora so that if you did decide to visit Koufonisia, you will know where you're going. So this bit here is pretty much the centre of Chora as far as tourism is concerned. Just around this corner here, you've got the main mini market, and then down to the beach this way. Big taverna there is always busy. They do lunch and dinner, Fanari. And then behind me, I mentioned in a previous update, the bakery that is just for sweet treats, not for bread. We are going to come back this way and go up the hill. This seems to be where the majority of shops, cafes and bars are. This one here is a nice breakfast and coffee spot. And this is where I had dinner last night. I had a lovely moussaka there. That was really good. And then Opsiano's, had lunch there yesterday. That was very nice, really good club sandwich. And then we go up the hill. This is a very pretty street. And here on the left we have Sophia's Cafe Bar. This has been here a while. I used to have breakfast here. My first visit in 2018, and still going strong. Excellent cocktails and drinks as well in the evening. Lots of pretty flowers and decorations. This place seems to be one of the only places I could find that does gyros. Although, I say find, I noticed it last night because people were queued up. I myself did not find it in time to actually have one, but never mind. And then this is a very busy, so last night all of these tables and chairs were set out on the street, and it seems to be a very popular restaurant with there might be a little bar opposite there. And then some little shops. And importantly as well, the main ferry ticket office on the island, and also the cash point. But if you do need a ferry, as I say, I tend to buy mine online these days, but they have the ferry timetable, and you can buy tickets here. And again, more very impressive flower displays. This is very beautiful here. Must spend all day watering their plants. And we are getting closer towards the end of this street. Got another dessert shop there. They sell lucumades, which are kind of like little donut balls. And a jewellery shop. And then there's not too much left up here. I think there is another bar, maybe another taverna. And then we will be heading back downhill towards the southwest corner of the island. So if we keep going, we will see the sea again. And that is another art gallery and shop. And there you go, as promised, we can see the sea to the west and Naxos in the background. And then here is a little cool bar. And that's as far as I'm going to go this morning. I think there is another taverna and some accommodation down at the bottom of this hill. But that is out of the main part of Chora. So there you have it, that is the main street in Chora. I'm going to backtrack now to the corner where I started from and just take you down to the beach one last time, and I will catch you there. And here we are again, back at the main junction. So we're now going to walk down to the beach again. While I'm walking down, I'll just give you some final thoughts on Koufonisia. It is a beautiful island, and on the whole I would highly recommend giving it a try, especially if you like relaxing on the beach. It is a wonderful island for beaches. It's very small, so probably best suited to like a 3 or 4 night stay rather than a week, unless you just want to relax on the beach and do nothing else. Probably the best time to come, I would say, if you don't want the potential for lots of crowds, is a similar time to when I'm here now, which is mid-May through to mid to late June, or mid-September through to kind of early October. If you do visit in high season, which would be kind of late June through to early September, it is possible that this island now gets quite busy. It seems to have a good reputation online, and deservedly so, but being a slightly smaller island, it could get a little on the crowded side, but nevertheless, it is a fantastic place. It has a lovely atmosphere and lots and lots of wonderful beaches. And yeah, it's just an all-round good destination. I think it's better than Donusa in some ways in terms of the beaches and accessibility with how small it is and easy to get around. And I think the Chora kind of has a more intimate kind of vibe with a better selection of restaurants and shops and cafes, etc. But Donusa could also work if you do prefer a slightly quieter destination where it almost certainly won't get as busy in peak season. And that is where I'm going to leave you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and forgot to mention before that I do have also a website and island guides and information on there about lots of other things like travelling by ferry, island hopping, etc, etc. And do think about subscribing. As soon as I get back to the UK, I will be making some full island guide videos on all of these islands. So if you want to know the best way to get here, the best places to stay, and all that kind of stuff, then those videos will be coming very soon. So this is me saying goodbye from Koufonisia, and I will see you again on the next island of Iraklia.